Hello and welcome to PixelSports presents Goal Table Football Podcast. I am Gigi. I am joined once again with TD. We are back again after a long time with our own series Burning Questions.
Burning question.
We started off with raising burning questions and then we decided to make it a series itself, and in this series we deal with upcoming issues in the world of football that is catching everyone's imagination. And right now the Champions League semi-finals are absolutely on us. We will see two mouth-watering clashes between four of the best teams of Europe, and me and TD, we will discuss today these four teams, their road to the semi-finals, and what might happen in the semi-finals.
Yes.
Right, TD? So without much further ado, let's quickly jump into the two semi-finals where we will see the Titans clashing. In the first semi-final, Bayern Munich will take on Real Madrid. Indeed, a European classic and in
heritage football match.
And in the second semi-final, we will see Dortmund taking on PSG. Sort of the two underdogs who might start as the less favorites in the finals.
This match, I'm gonna say that this match between PSG and Dortmund will be the more entertaining of the two.
Let's see, we will jump into our in-depth discussion about these two matches, but let's first focus on Bayern versus Real. Now, all of us know that Real Madrid has been the connoisseurs of the Champions League for the last 10 years.
I think they have finished the game of Champions League.
Absolutely, 14 Champions Leagues.
This is why Papa Perez is looking to create a new tournament for themselves to win.
Absolutely, and it's sort of an anomaly whenever they do not win the Champions League these days. Focusing on them, their road towards the semi-final, they defeated one of the favorites, Manchester City, in their quarter-final. TD, in the two legs against Manchester City, we saw both of them ending in draws. The first match, an extremely entertaining match, 3-3. The second match ending 1 goals each, and eventually Real Madrid winning on penalties. How did you look at that match?
Before I come into the match of Manchester City and Real Madrid, if you see the Real's form in the domestic league and in the Champions League, they have not lost a match. Only two matches, one against Atletico Madrid in the league, another against the same opposition, Atletico Madrid, at Wanda Metropolitano in the Copa del Rey. So they have lost only two matches.
So Diego Simeone at it again.
Yes, but Real Madrid, eventually they won the game on the penalties. But before that, they drew 3 consecutive games. So Manchester City was the favorite in this tie. And in the first leg at the Bernabeu, we saw that City started off the blocks pretty smoothly, but eventually Real coming into the match. For me, the second match was very more interesting, that 1-1 match. In this match, Manchester City did not do any wrong. But despite not doing anything wrong, you mean the shape that Manchester City took. In the first leg, Rodri was not having a very good game. He was missing passes. He was getting dispossessed. In this match, Rodri was helped by Akanji in the middle of the park, and it paid dividends. Akanji played many balls through the wings, and through the wings their first goal came, though in the second half. But this is once again, we sort of like in the aura of Real Madrid, that despite City not doing anything wrong, Real Madrid won the game.
And also taking a cue from that, Real Madrid, to be honest, never looked out of control. City were coming up with waves of attacks, but at a particular point, you always felt that Real Madrid could come back. They could easily snatch away a goal. And this is elite mentality from Real Madrid, right? And that is why we were also looking at this match sort of as the final before the finals. Many of us thought that whoever wins this match might eventually end up winning the title itself. And
yes,
that might be true.
That might be true. Listen, whenever Real Madrid is in the semi-finals, you never know. And such is the standard of this club that even when you are not winning, even you are finishing runner-up in the final of the Champions League, it is considered to be a humiliation, a failure of a season.
Yes, many might say that they had a humiliating defeat against City last year, so this was sort of a redemption.
Yes.
Redemption for Real Madrid. Also, Real Madrid is fighting for a double. Manchester City up till this point were fighting for a consecutive trebles, which is huge, almost impossible to achieve in modern football. Very few, almost no team has done it. Eventually, City losing away. I want to bring everyone's focus to the goalkeeper, Lunin, as well, because this is sort of a redemption arc. Not redemption really, sort of Lunin establishing himself.
This year's Lunin's performance, you can say that coming of age performance.
Yes, establishing himself almost as the, not really the first choice, but in the absence of the first choice goalkeeper, he becomes an automatic choice. He kept Kepa out. We know Kepa is an experienced goalkeeper by now, but Kepa was out, and Lunin in the penalties. We saw how he grabbed everyone's attention by holding his ground. So if we now slowly...
just before we move on to Bayern Munich, I think what gives Real Madrid an edge in these kind of ties, two things. First, that almost all their players, all the senior players have won multiple Champions League, so there is experience. And also the players like Nacho and Lucas Vazquez, you don't think that any other big teams in Europe sees them like these kind of players in their first team. You have never heard that Chelsea is looking to buy Lucas Vazquez for 100 million or 70 million. But these players, they have immense pedigree. Like Lucas Vazquez and Nacho both, you have not seen Nacho playing brilliantly or eye-catching football from Lucas Vazquez, but they have won everything under the sky.
Yes.
So this gives an edge to Real Madrid. So
they always seem to put their best foot forward for Real Madrid. We have to acknowledge, and it doesn't remain for us to acknowledge the greatness of Carlo Ancelotti as a coach, the way he is managing the team. But now, quickly moving on to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich's road towards the semi-final.
Were you surprised seeing Bayern Munich easing past Arsenal?
Look, Arsenal, they are fighting for the Premier League. Probably for the first time in the last 10-15 years, Arsenal started off as slight favourites in this tie.
Not slight, I think they were the huge favourites.
Yes, because Bayern Munich, they have already lost the Bundesliga to Bayer Leverkusen by a huge margin. And
17 points.
17 points, and they are beating the lower sides, the lower ranked sides, but against sides like Leverkusen, Dortmund, Bayern have been struggling this season. They have been struggling tactically. So I thought that Arteta, being sort of a tactical master, he would pull out something from his hat and eventually Arsenal would win this tie. But we saw what happened. In the two matches between Bayern and Arsenal, the first match ended in a 2-2 draw. And the second match, which was not a very captivating match to be honest, but thanks to the goal by Kimmich, Bayern stole the tie, winning the match. And what do you think will be the X factor, or was the X factor for Bayern in the second leg especially?
In the second leg, I think once again, like Real Madrid, they have almost, I think 5 players who have won the Champions League in the 2021 season. And
so once again, like Real Madrid, big match, big stage experience proving to be decisive.
And for the whole fan base also, this Bayern Munich has been the heavyweight of European football. So I think in the Champions League, if heritage and history is in your side, then you have a huge advantage, which Arsenal do not have.
I sort of remember the corner taken by Saka
at the very last minute.
Yes, and we remember the corner goal from Sergio Ramos against Atletico Madrid. So in a crunch tie, at a crunch moment, in extra time or the dying moments, teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they somehow come on top because they have had that experience in the squad. as you were pointing out, players like Neuer, Kimmich, Goretzka, Sane, Muller, Coman. So almost 5 to 6 players who have had Champions League experience winning the Champions League. So that played a huge role.
Also, credit should be given to Tuchel. I have seen in the internet, in the social media sides of the game, that Tuchel is not mentioned in the same bracket as Pep, Klopp, or other greats of the game. But I think Tuchel is he has a tactical acumen of himself. If you look at the form of Bayern Munich, they were not winning any matches in the November-December time. Tuchel came in. Initially, he could not able to took the realm to his hand and lost in the Bundesliga Cup, German Cup, DFB Pokal. But since then, they have been winning matches. They have been beating the teams who have proved to be their bogey teams, like the Union Berlins, like the VfB Stuttgarts. So I think this return of the form of this Bayern Munich side could hamper the 15th UCL title of Real Madrid.
And also this is sort of do or die for Bayern, because they have lost out on all opportunities of silverware this season. This is the only chance, and that too being Champions League. I think they will go all out. Now if we quickly shift our focus to the starting lineups of both the teams, the way they have been lining up in the previous matches, in the last few matches. If we first come to Bayern Munich, we see sort of a set team. Bayern have been going in with a set team of 4-2-3-1 formation. Do you see a similar formation against Real Madrid?
In the home match, which is the first match of the tie at Allianz Arena, I don't think that Tuchel would go with 2 left backs in the like he did against Arsenal. You know that Alphonso Davies was subbed out, Mazraoui and Guerrero started, both of them started. 2 defensive players in the left hand side. I think they tried to limit the attacking threats of Saha. But in this match also, they have to think about Vinicius. They have to think about Forlan Mendy.
What is your take on Eric Dyer? Eric Dyer.
I was just coming to Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer has proved to be game changer for Bayern Munich. You cannot believe that. I cannot believe that I am saying this. I would ever say this, that Eric Dyer has proved to be a game changer for anybody. But for Bayern Munich, Eric Dyer has proved to be a game changer. Interestingly, Eric Dyer has been in the Champions League semi-finals much more time than Arsenal.
Yes.
So, Eric Dyer has been a game changer because of his passing abilities mainly. He can control the game. He has a very good header, and with him, the boy from Netherlands, Delict.
So very strong defense, very strong central defense,
and also their midfield is very good with Goretzka and Leimer. So the battle, I think there would not be many goals in this tie, because Tuchel is a very defensive coach. Ancelotti can also put forward a bus, like he did at.
Both the coaches are very reactive in that way, right? They decide on their strategy based on the opponent.
Yes.
They're not very stringent with their own strategy.
Yes.
Unlike someone like Pep Guardiola or Klopp, they don't want to impose their style of football on the game. They sort of create a team which reacts to situations. So this will be extremely interesting, how the teams line up, and also the attacking line of Bayern Munich, full of fireworks. Sane, Musiala, Gnabry, Kane, Coman coming up, Thomas Muller is there on the bench. So extreme possibilities.
I think Bayern's attack of Kane, Gnabry and Sane gives them an edge. And for me, I think you will ask me in due time about the predictions. I think Kane will be the X factor of this tie. If he buries his chances, unlike Haaland, unlike the City players, if he buries his chances, I think Kane will single-handedly take Bayern to the finals.
And let's take Harry Kane as our segue into our discussion of Real Madrid. Now, Harry Kane, how do you think Real Madrid will line up in defending against Harry Kane as opposed to someone like Haaland?
Look, Haaland, it's a false notion that going around again in the TV media that Haaland is not a very good ball player. Someone like, I think Roy Keane said that he thinks that Haaland is championship level quality, and I do not agree with that. I know that Haaland is playing in the center of the park with the both centre backs of the opposition behind him. It is an instruction from Pep. Kane does not play like that, or Tuchel's side does not play like that. Kane will come into the midfield, he will get the ball from someone like Konrad Laimer or a Goretzka, and we know that Kimmich also likes to move in to the midfield. So the idea would be to overwhelm Real Madrid in the midfield, and then using the wings, pacey wingers of Sané and Gnabry to unlock the goal.
Yes, and now, talking about the starting lineup of Real Madrid, we have seen that Ancelotti has never been extremely solid with his starting lineup.
Because he had very many injuries.
Yes, and he went on changing the side again and again, and but we sort of have an idea of who are his main players, who he will be depending on. We know that Lunin will be starting in goal. Rudiger and Carvajal are sort of they have cemented their spot. They will start. Who will be the second centre back alongside Rudiger?
I don't know. It's only
there's Eder Militao, Nacho.
For me, in the away match, I think Ancelotti will go with the experience of Nacho. And also in the midfield, there would be one of Kroos or Modric, as they have been aging. So both of them would not start. One of Kroos or Modric will start, as we have seen throughout the season.
Who will start with Kroos? So for example, if Kroos starts, we have seen that Kroos has been favoured as the starting man, and then Modric comes in later. So alongside Kroos, do you see Camavinga or Tchouaméni?
It's a very difficult choice.
Yes. I've seen Camavinga playing in the left back position
and Tchouaméni playing in the centre back position.
Exactly. So you never know with Ancelotti, Don Carlo.
I think Camavinga will start because he brings much more energy. The ball carry of Camavinga is very good. If you see the stats, his key passes is very good. I think the key player of this team is Jude Bellingham.
Yes.
This goal that ultimately Rodrigo scored in the second leg at Etihad.
The way he received the ball.
Oh my God, it's still giving me orgasms. So
Jude is a thing of beauty.
Yes, he's a thing of beauty. He before that, the City was dominating the match, and Carvajal lofted a ball in the midfield, and Jude plucked the ball from the sky and played a perfect pass to Valverde.
Amazing. Let's see if he comes up with something like that again. We have seen Valverde cementing its place on the right.
What a player! What an underrated player Valverde
exactly.
is.
He sort of rises straight under the shadows of someone like Vinicius Junior. So Vinicius Junior is also there. He somehow plays.
And also we cannot forget Rodrigo.
And Vinny and Rodrigo, they play at a different level for Real Madrid.
And especially in the knockout ties, Rodrigo comes into his another sort of life.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where their football goes when they play for Brazil. But anyways.
That's another episode, I think.
Yes, but talking of history, these two teams have won the Champions League 20 times between them. But interestingly, Bayern Munich, and this tie is the most played tie in the knockout phase.
History of the
historically, Real Madrid versus
they have seen each other, I think, 16 times.
Yeah, 16 times. But interestingly, Bayern Munich have not defeated Madrid since 2012. So that will play in the back of their minds as well. Post the Cristiano era, they could not defeat. What is your prediction, TD?
I think both the games will be very cagey. We will not see many goals.
Any goals?
Many goals. Okay, many goals. You can see a 0-0 draw at Allianz Arena. I think Ancelotti would be very happy to
I'm sure.
go back to Bernabeu with a clean sheet. Because they like to play with their home ground on their back. For me, I think I see Bayern going through because of the X factor of Harry Kane.
Okay, not to spice things up, but to be very honest, I do not see Real Madrid losing to Bayern. Over the two legs, yes, Bayern might dominate certain parts of the time, but I think Real Madrid are clear favorites. They will win this match. They will go on to play the finals.
And if they play the finals, they will win the Champions League
Yes.
for the 15th time.
Now, slowly moving on to the next match, Dortmund versus PSG. Sort of a less hyped match in the semi-final stage. Everyone will be looking towards the Real Madrid Bayern match, but Dortmund PSG, not many were expecting them.
No one was expecting them. I saw the bookies odds of against PSG and Dortmund both the teams.
Actually, many experts got all the 4 quarterfinal results wrong.
I think Michael Richards got it wrong. Kate Abdo got it wrong.
Yes. So now looking to this match, we will once again look at the road to semi-final for Dortmund. Let's start with Dortmund. Dortmund defeated Atletico Madrid. And Atletico Madrid, we already said how Diego Simeone has proved to be very problematic for Real Madrid.
Diego Simeone is problematic for any attacking managers.
Absolutely, and he has been very unlucky in Champions Leagues as well. He at least deserved to win one. What is your take on this match? 5-4 the eventual aggregate. The first match, Atletico went on losing 1-2 against...
First match Atletico won 2-1.
Dortmund went on losing 1-2 against Atletico, but the second match, Dortmund came all guns blazing and won the match 4-2. It was an extremely thoroughly entertaining
Game. Dortmund took the lead 2-0. Then Hummels, I know that Hummels has been a favorite player of yours.
Yes.
But Hummels, that the thing that he has this brilliance of scoring goals, defending brilliantly one on one, but he has this knack of playing a mistake. He scored a goal, scores an own goal, so that's sums up Hummels for you.
And then Sabitzer,
I don't know why Manchester United did not permanently buy him. Sabitzer is the key in this Dortmund midfield. He has been scoring goal. He is a proper old school number 8 box to box. Also, we have to say about Emre Can. Dortmund won this match because of their midfield.
And would you say that Dortmund have experienced a turnaround against under Terzic?
Yes, they have because Dortmund, if you see the Bundesliga table, they are in 5th, so they are not in for the run of they might not qualify for the next year's Champions League. They are tied on points, 56 points, I think with Leipzig. I may be wrong. But
they're uncertain for the next year Champions League, but they've qualified for the semi-finals. And also their home support.
Oh my God, I love them.
One of the best in the world. It proved to be very decisive.
The yellow wall of Dortmund.
In the second leg, unfortunately for them, in the semi-final stage, the first leg is scheduled at Dortmund's home. They would have preferred the second leg to be their home match, right?
Yes, absolutely. When Atletico Madrid got back to 2-2, everyone thought that the momentum have shifted towards Atletico Madrid, but they could not continue because of the home support. And for me, Jan Oblak has been one of the great goalkeepers of this era for the last 10-15 years. I don't know, this was a one-off game from him. All the 4 goals, I see prime Oblak saving. So it was... you can say that it was a bit of bad luck for Atletico Madrid, but Dortmund has to be credited.
Pressure got to him. We've seen how home support affects. All of us remember the second leg match for Liverpool against Barcelona. So home support eventually proves decisive in these kinds of ties. If we shift our focus to now PSG's road towards the semi-final, we have seen an extremely, once again, fascinating tie between PSG and Barcelona. Barcelona were completely dominating the tie, and then something happened in the second leg, right? TD in the 29th minute.
Yes, Araujo got sent off. I think it's a contentious decision. Because if you are supporting Barcelona, you will feel that the decision was harsh. But if you follow the rule book, it's completely 100% stonewall red card.
Yes, but
because you cannot catch a man who is through on goal and you are the last man. you might say that it was harsh, but I can't see that you can go get away committing fouls like this in La Liga, but not in Europe.
Yes, and whenever these kinds of decisions are there is bound to be a lot of discussion, a lot of debate around it. But eventually, some 50% of the referees would give it a red card, so it will stand. Now, but even after Barcelona getting a red card, PSG had to capitalize.
Yes, PSG
and PSG did that absolutely professionally. Mbappe,
also Dembele,
Ousmane Dembele. For all the players who don't want to celebrate against your previous teams, look at Dembele, take a cue from him. But
or you don't.
But Dembele, then Vitinha scoring. So sort of a clinical performance after the red card. Right?
I think Barcelona caused their own demise. If you concede a red card in the 29th minute, it falls upon the senior players of the team to get behind your junior players and don't lose your head. But we saw that each and every one of them, like Joao Cancelo, committing a rash foul inside a penalty box, conceding a penalty. You see Xavi going crazy in the touchline. Eventually, he got a red card himself. So I think PSG played really well, as you said, that they were professional. They buried their chances with clinical accuracy. But I think Barcelona should. They will be. I think they will be very disappointed.
But I think Barcelona missed someone like Frankie De Jong as well, because someone like De Jong always provides a lot of stability to your midfield. He has been in the past. He has played as a centre back as well. So De Jong's injury was also very decisive in this match. They wanted someone like De Jong in the middle. But now looking forward to the semi-final.
Dortmund versus
the
PSG.
Unlikely semi-final of this year's Champions League, Dortmund versus PSG.
Mouth-watering tie for the neutrals.
Absolutely. Now, what is your take on this match? Is it going to be a fight between the shakiness of the both defenses?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Spot on, Gigi, that both the teams' defense has been committing very silly mistakes. And but on the counter side, PSG's attack is much more potent than that of Dortmund's.
But Dortmund's
midfield once again that they are superior in that position of the midfield.
Yes. And also, since you talk about the attack, Jadon Sancho and Falkirk, both of them
are slowly getting back into form. Yes. And you know that a full informed Jadon Sancho is a treat to watch. And the way he scored in the first leg against Atletico Madrid, it was a beautiful goal. So Jadon Sancho, Falkirk, as you said, he has been scoring freely in the Bundesliga. So the attacking threats of Dortmund might cause some issues in the PSG defense, but PSG has now Marquinhos back, so it will boost their defensive acumen.
I mentioned it once, I'll say it again, Mbappe is there. He has made 51 goals plus assist contributions in 42 games, right?
And also that he has not been starting many games. Because if you look at the past seasons, you cannot but start a game without Mbappe. But Luis Enrique, I think, has been given much more freedom. Yes. Much more freedom to play out his strategy, play out the way he likes. Many youngsters like Barcola, who proved to be pivotal in the tie against Barcelona.
Zaire
Emery in the midfield. He was controlling the midfield, dominating the midfield against the likes of Pedri and De Jong. It was a treat to see this kind of young players coming into the team and performing very well. Luis Enrique likes to play very attacking football. We have seen that in the treble-winning side of Barcelona. We have seen that in the... they have not won anything when Luis Enrique was the coach of the Spanish national team, but they played an attacking fluid football. So expect a lot of goals in this match.
Yes, and both the teams, PSG and Dortmund, they have the onus on them now to prove that reaching the semi-finals was not a fluke. They are good enough to win the Champions League this year, and let's see what happens.
What happens if PSG versus Real is in the finals and Mbappe is playing his last game for PSG?
That will be a blockbuster ending. Let's root for that. But let me come to
a final, a replay of the final Bayern versus Dortmund.
Once again, we'll see what happens. But TD, what I want you to answer is what is your prediction?
I think the attacking trio of Barcola, Mbappe and Dembele would be much too difficult to handle for the shaky defense of Dortmund. I think PSG will go through this time.
I think my bet is also on PSG. I really see a Real Madrid versus PSG final, and as you said, Mbappe playing his last match for PSG against Real Madrid.
Like Ronaldo played in 2009.
So let's see what happens. We will stay focused on the Champions League semi-finals. We'll come back with a preview for the finals. And you stay focused on us. You stay hooked to us. Keep liking our videos. Keep supporting us. Our credentials, all of our social media handles are there in the descriptions. Go there and follow us on all the platforms.
Comment your predictions also.
Also comment your predictions. We will be back. Probably DJ will be back as well. We as the PixelSports team will be back with our final preview and the semi-finals review. Until our next episode, stay wild.